Hello there, lovely stitchers. Hope you're all well. It's Rachel from Moonlight Stitches, and today we are going to make a little scrappy Christmas angel. Or you don't even have to have it for Christmas, do you? You can have a little angel any time of the year, but I'm sort of going along with a little Christmas theme. So I've picked out some scraps that I've been working on, and this was an ear, but I just thought, ooh, that's a little angel's body for sure, and I'll pop a head up. I pop a little head on. So I've drawn round that with, I always use a template stencil because I can gauge how big I want it. I mean, sometimes I only do a little tiny, maybe that big actually. I did find a little bit of lace that I thought would go nice as a halo. So I'm going to probably do that size, work on that, and I will go there. And I'm just going to draw a circle for a start, for a face, for a head, and I'm just going to do a little bit of a face on it before I've just got some vintage pink. Oh, actually I've got some red threaded up already. Let's do that. And to do mouths on little tiny things like this, my little tip is I'm just going to draw some eyes and a mouth in, and we'll give her a little bit of a demure kind of look. So I want my mouth here, I think, and my eyes down there. I'm bringing it down because I'm going to put the halo on top. I might even put it, sure it's actually got a crown on there for doing that. We'll have a look. We'll think about that while I'm doing this. Okay, so my tip, I don't know whether you can see my little face I've drawn. I've sort of come down. I like to come just below halfway, but the rule of thumb is usually it's about halfway, but I come just below. And for a mouth, I'm literally going to do 3 French knots, and it's a single knot. So you're going to do 2 at the top, 1, oh, I've pulled that straight through, what a twit. Okay, just do another 1. I'll probably do 2 wraps then. Let me do 1 wrap and see, because that came through. Is it because the weave's a bit open? We'll see. Let's have a look. No, it's not. 1, then 1 next to it. I've got the tennis on in the background, Wimbledon. So if you hear cheering, that's what it is. I'm not being cheered on. Although I feel like I need to be. Christmas in July. So I've got 2 at the top and 1 in the middle of those 2 underneath it. I seem to have a funny knot there. It's because I'm trying to hold it up to the camera, and that makes like a nice little cupid lip. And I think I'm going to have to, okay, that knot's a bit weird, but you get the drift. So you get a little cute little cupid kiss lips. Cat Gertrude hair. Always have to have a bit of those, don't we? So that's my little mouth, and I'm going to put 2 eyes in, and I've got some dark grey thread, and that'll do. And again, you can either do French knot, or you can do like two. I'm going to do a little tiny shallow fly stitch. So I'm going to come up and across. Okay, and then I'm just going to come up the middle of that, but quite shallow, the V bit, and then go back down. So I'm not putting a stick on it. Do you see? Okay, so I'll try and do that again. Try and match it up. So I'm going to come up and across. Hold on to your loop, then come up in the middle as if to form a V, but do it quite shallow like I have there. Come up. You can do 2 little back stitches or 2 little stitch stitches, but I always find this just looks a bit cuter. So there we are. Got a little Cupid, angelic looking face. And literally that's been the work of moments. Obviously I've found this scrap of, well, wherever it's gone, it must be underneath, but I'm going to show you how to sort of make a body as well. I've had the beads out and I've got them everywhere, because you know if you get knock the bead tray it always ends up. So I've stitched mine before I've cut it out, because it's easier to hold onto that way. But if you've only got a little tiny scrap, then you sort of can cut it out if you wish. I've got some wadding, some batting, wadding, whatever. This is some that I had in a kit, and Reggie chewed it up when he was a puppy, so I had to get an alternative. I had to buy some more, but I still keep using it. He kind of shredded it all. It was a nice square, and it was all over the house, all over the bedroom, upstairs, because of course he shouldn't be in the bedroom, but he is. I'm going to cut it. I'm going to pop that bit of wad in. I know it's slightly big. Just try and just cut a little bit off there. It's beautiful weather today. In true Brit style, I've got to talk about the weather. We're having some horrendous weather in for July. We don't know whether we're coming or going. Right, so I'm sort of lining it up. I can see through this. You probably can't, but I can see through it. It's got quite an open weave. And I'm just going to fold that over, and I'm going to stitch around the edge. I'm going to find some thread. Just wondering whether or not to cut it out. I think I will. Give it a bit of a... It's just that it's really frayy. Frayy? Is that a word? Who knows? Frayy kind of fabric. Just spotted that as well. I wonder if I could do like a little... Oh my gosh. I wonder if you can see. Might be a bit too much. Alright, okay. And I've sandwiched my bit of batting, wadding in between, and I'm going to stitch around. And I'm only going to do a whip stitch. What colour? What colour? Where's my bit of... Oh, do you think it's too small? No, it'll be alright once I've got once I've got I've done a little wall of SCHEEPJES candy floss here of every colour. The only thing is, what happens now is I just can't choose. Okay, be a That's the first time. I'll have to pop a picture on of the wall. The wall of. I made it from some packaging, some polystyrene packaging sheets. I was going to throw them out, and actually Harvey, the son and heir, he gave me the idea of doing them on the wall, and I've just put it in a picture frame. I will post a picture. I think I might have frayed this, cut this too small and it's going to fray. I'm just going to do a whip stitch around it. I don't want anything fancy. Oh gosh, it's fraying a lot. I might have to have a rethink here. Let's see when we get round. I always say I don't try not to sort of undo things or redo things, but sometimes all best laid plans and all that, things don't always work out, but again, it's okay. I'm just doing bigger stitches than I would, but I don't mind that little primitive look. As I say, this is a little angel, and it can be used for all sort of, you know, Christmas decoration or a gift for someone. It's not. I wonder if we put her to one side. Okay, put her head to one side of it. Just going to come through. Pop her on there. Give her some wings. Might put some arms on. What can I make arms out of? I might have to come back to that when I find something. I'll stitch that down so I don't lose it, because that's going to go for a wander if I do. And I'm literally just going to stitch backwards and forwards on it. That's, oh, I'm just sorry I went off camera a bit there. I want to give her a little tilt to her head. This is a bit awkward to stitch through because it's got, and I can't find my thimble. I know where my thimble is. It's in my sewing box, which isn't here. This has got Arron interfacing on it, so it's quite stiff. But that's okay. Everything that these are mistakes. This here was a mistake. Was not a mistake. It was a prototype for the fox, and it was too big, so it gets thrown in a box with all the other bits and bobs. Right, I think you're stitched on okay. Yeah, they get thrown in a box with all the other bits and bobs that I either don't finish or they're not quite right. Lovely. And I want some wings, so I'm going to go. I'm just going to cut 2 of those out. Let's start at that end. Let's have a look. Has that got a bit more? Yeah. It's got a little. Just going to cut it down to there. Cut it all the way down. And I'll show you what I'm going to do. So this has got like a little wing shape. And I'm just going to go like that, like that. Just trim that rounded. Can you see that? Let's just pop it on this for the background. How cute's that? I mean, I've literally just picked that up, and it's so everything comes for a reason, doesn't it? Everything's on my desk for a reason. I don't really have a good rummage round. I think, right, that's for that and that's for that. I'm going to sew those on. Actually, I think I'm going to glue them on. I saw my glue pen there. I'm going to glue them on before I stitch. I'm just going to give it a bit of a... Now that's adorable. Oh, sometimes. And where's that little... Oh, look. She's so sweet. Sometimes I get a little bit speechless with things because I think they're so cute. And I know that's a bit like, oh, you know, it's your own thing, but who else is going to brag for me if I don't? Oh. Right, I will stitch that on. I'm going to use some ordinary machine thread. I need to have a bit of a tidy up. I'm literally, this is about as big as I've got cleared on my desk. I am in such a mess. But I'm not going to worry too much about it. I'm off to France in a couple of days, just after the weekend. Going on a bit of a foraging mission. I need some linens. I'm going to my brother's and we'll go around there. I've probably said this 1,000 times and you're probably fed up to hearing about it. But we're going to go around the Vide Grenier, which I'm not sure what it means translated, but basically what happens is you go to a village and each villager has opened up their a house and has different bits and bobs that they no longer need. A bit like a car boot, but a little bit more classy. And then you'll have another area where people have come along and bought their wares. Again, a little bit like a car boot, but not quite as... Well, usually not quite as cold, for a start. And usually lots of things that are quite useful. Rather than... You know what they say, don't they? One man's junk is another man's treasure. Well, that is very true at car boot sales. And I have come home with one or two absolute pieces of treasure that is someone else's junk. And probably still looks like junk to somebody, you know, to the son and heir when I bring it home. I'm just stitching these on quite roughly. As I say, it's nothing, it's really quick and easy stitching. It's only because I got this, but I am going to show you. But I just wanted to sort of show you something that you can use from something else if you like. I need to find something to hang it up with as well, don't I? Right, you're stitched on. My daughters and daughter-in-law are in Cornwall at the minute, in a place called, well, they've gone to Newquay today to buy bits and bobs, treat themselves, I think. They've been there all week. Not Newquay, Cornwall, Bude. They've actually gone to stay in Bude, or just outside Bude, which is North Cornwall. And if you've ever been to Cornwall, it is the most stunning, it has the most stunningly beautiful, rugged coastline. I absolutely love it. It's the place of myths and legends, definitely. King Arthur and his knights. But it is a beautiful place. My ex-mother-in-law lives there, so that's why they've gone. Well, not just that. They needed a holiday, but I'll go later on in the year when it's not quite as busy. Right, so I will find something to hang that up with, but have something so simple from scraps of fabric. But I'm going to show you how to sort of make a body, but I won't show you how to. I've sort of done it back to front, I know. I won't show you how to do the head, because you'll be able to do the head in your own method. Well, the same method, but I'll find something to hang her up with. I'm going to hang it. I'm going to try and get a bit of. That's a bit crusty. I'll not use that. Oh, there'll be all sorts in here. Bit of, oh, that's a bit too garish. Anyway, I'll find some. Oh, look, I've got a bit of gold. I'll find something to hang it up with. Might even find some beads in it. I was going to find a. Oh, what am I? I'm showing you like I'm a teacher at school. I might find something to do arms wise as well. I'm not sure. You could also put some dangly legs on, couldn't you? So, but I just want to show you how to make a body. So I've got a bit of, this is a bit of scrap that I've already patched up together. I thought I'll pop that on. I'm going to cut that in half. How big does it do it? You can do it as big as you like. Oh, that's roughly the same. And I might make two. And I'm just wondering if I need a little bit of wadding behind them. And I think I do. Or should I get some? No, I'm not. I'm going to stitch. I'm actually not going to do the wadding. I'm going to stitch my, this is a bit of old shirting. It is literally make it up with scraps. And what I thought I would do, I'm just going to do find a shape for the body. These don't have to be even. That'll do. That'll do. Donkey. I'm going to make two. And I'm going to keep that one at that kind of shape. And I'm just going to stick them down because I am going to run. Oh, shall I stick them down? No, let's pin them in. Let's pin them on. I'm going to do a bit of a sashiko kind of thing. I'm just pinning both of them on because I just want to make, I'm just going to make a couple. I might not finish them all. But I got that petrol blue 164 candy floss 164 you are, and I'm going to do, let's put you in there, some running stitches up and down. Let's get rid of the, I won't bore you and make you watch me do the running stitches. Quandy kind of, not quandy, oh my gosh, camphor, a camphor kind of technique I thought I'd do. Oh, I can't thread my needle. I've got all kinds of posh needle threaders and everything, and I never get them out. I pack everything away thinking, well, I'll have a nice tidy up, and then I don't get them out. Can't thread it. Come on, Rach, you can do this. Yeah. Oh, don't you just hate it? It's because I'm under pressure. So I'm just going to go, I'm going to, oh, this doesn't want to sew. Right, I've got a very long thread, and I'm just going to go up and down on this one. On this other one, by the way, what I did, it's like all little, I did a stem stitch and then little lazy daisies, bit of fly stitch to make a leaf, but bead on it, nothing spectacular. Simple stitches. You could just do a load of French knots, a lot of seed stitch. I don't know why I've started in the middle. No idea. Whatever you felt like doing, you can do whatever. Beaded, lots of beads. Go across. As I say, you can put your, oh, I've got too long a thread and I'm getting into knots. You can put interfacing, iron on interfacing on and strengthen it up, but I don't think it's really needed. That just happened to have it on because it was an ear, and there's another one somewhere knocking about, because as I say, they were the wrong shape and the wrong size completely. I don't know what I was thinking. But I have to make these things, prototypes, and kind of work out how big they should be, what kind of shape they should be. And sometimes they look okay when they're just the plain calico, and then once I've stitched them up, they're just wrong. I'm going to come down that one. So you get the idea. I'm going to stitch up and down, running stitch all the way up and down, and then I'll come back and show you what to do, how I'm going to finish it. So I'll be back shortly. Okay, so I did just a basic running stitch up and down this one. I've left it on the backing sheet for now because I thought actually I'm going to do some fly stitch on this, and I'm going to do it in a really, really contrasting colour. Oh, thread everywhere. So for fly stitch, I'm just going to come down the middle for a start to just to secure it. Oh, why will that not go through? I think it's got a bit of... Oh, I've got a long thread again. I'm just going to have a look at behind this and see what's behind it that's stopping me. Don't know. Don't want to stitch up nicely though. So fly stitch, as I showed you in the... So you go across. Oh my gosh. My granny would have called me a lazy tailor with a long thread like this. It doesn't do you any favours because it just gets knotted. So back up, and I'm going to give it a stalk. Okay. So I didn't show you what did I. So you want to come up at the side and back down the opposite side, and then I'm going to come up. Just move that. Oops. At the tail end there, and pull. It makes like a little Y shape. I'm going to add a tail on. Then so, oh gosh, I actually think it's this fabric. No, it's not. I think it's this shirt in it. Feels like it's got some kind of coating on it. Don't know. So difficult to get through. No idea. It's like it's got a stiffener or starch kind of thing on it. Maybe. It's just out of scraps that somebody's given me. I have been washing scraps, not scraps, but fabric that I've been rescued from well, rescued from landfill really. A friend of my dad's were clearing out the mum's house, and I just went round. They were taking it all to the tip, and I went round and just bagged it all up and thought, right, I will wash what is useful, which is most of it, to be fair, and then the rest I've sort of put to one side so I can go through it again. It will all need a wash because the house was had people smoking, so it was a bit smelly. So I've washed all the stuff that I'm definitely keeping, but I will wash what's left before I take it to the local scrap store, because I don't think it's fair to send it in that sort of a condition. Most things are always useful to me. Oh dear. You'll notice I'm not doing a fly stitch in the sort of, I'm not doing it uniform. I just don't want to. I like to have a bit of a, so that's fly stitch, can you see? But it's not quite uniform. I like to sort of vary it because it just gives it extra texture and depth. But yeah, most sort of scraps or pieces of fabric, or there was even an old wedding dress in there. Well, it looked like a mock-up for a wedding dress actually. So all the lace on that will come in useful. and the satin. But as I say, it's always useful. I never throw things out. And even when I go through my wardrobes and think I'm having a clear out, I always end up recycling them, using them for something else. It just makes sense. We don't need to live in a world where it's throwaway society all the time. Right, I'll start back up at the top. Just put a knot in that one. So I'm going to make more fly stitch rows, okay, probably one either side, one down there, one down there. So I won't bore you to death with that, and I'll be back. Okie dokie, so I've done the camphor style running stitch on this one, and I did the fly stitch on this one, and I found a little bit of lace, and I'm going to pop that on there, and then those little beads from earlier, I'm going to stitch them down. I thought I would show you a little bit how I'd embellish, and then we'll sort of put it all together. You can go on forever with these kinds of things. Oh gosh, it's definitely that blue fabric that doesn't like going through. Sorry, I'm talking to myself because I'm just thinking, why does that not want to go through again? So yeah, you can go on forever and ever. Beads, lace, you name it, you can put it on there. Just start with a little bit of fabric and then keep going. And as I always say, more is definitely more in Rachel world. And I've got my scissors all lined up in her. I've just looked up and thought, oh gosh, how many pairs of scissors do I need? But I don't like to use these ones to cut anything but fabric. So I'm going to just leave that like that. That's stitched on. See, the back of mine's not very good, but I'll show you how to sort of cover that up in a minute. Don't worry about it being nice and neat on the back. Mine never is. Okay, just do a bit of a knot. Can you see Reggie? No. Oh, he's just woke up because there's a fly. He was absolutely flat out. He's been such a good boy today. Such a good boy. Harvey's gone to fix my daughter's car while she's away. And that doesn't want to come through. That's gone. And he obviously can't go with Harvey because it's too dangerous for him, really, around and about. And usually he's gets a bit anxious. Reggie does, and wants to know where his daddy is. But we went off out to the supermarket in Harvey's van. Gosh, I am struggling with this. And I had to leave Reggie in the van. I thought, well, I tried to leave him here, firstly. He was not having that. He was out the door like a shot, waiting at the van door for me to let him in. He's very clever. And so I thought, okay, I'll take him with me, but he'll have to stay in the van while I nip in the supermarket. And it's a Friday as I'm doing this. And Friday mornings are always chaotic in the supermarket here. I'm not putting this on straight, by the way. It just seems to have gone on a little wonky workout. So yeah, I thought, right, okay, he's going to have to stay in the van, which I don't really like doing because obviously it's very hot, and we all know doggies die in hot cars, etc. So I drove up to the supermarket, found a corner with lots of shade and parked into that, and then left him the windows open. And I was trying to be as quick as I possibly could, but of course, as I say, very busy in there. But he was so good. When I came back out of the supermarket, I'd got the trolley and I could just see his little head. When I got to the van, he'd obviously sat down and made himself comfortable, because I thought, we went to vote yesterday and we left him in the van and he was barking. I could hear him while I was in the polling station. So I thought he might have been barking, but he wasn't. He was sat as good as gold. So he's been such a good little boy today. He's come back and he's sat down here, he's gone to sleep while I've been videoing, because he tends to want to bark at things, but I have been trying to teach him not to bark at everything. But it is difficult, isn't it? So yeah, it's been a little angel today, and he doesn't like, he's waiting there, he lays in his, I've got like, this is like a window seat, which Reggie has commandeered. He likes that. It's like his little, so it's his little perch anyway. And he's just sitting there waiting for his daddy. Which hopefully he won't be here so much longer. But we're very lucky to have Harvey and my nephew Martin and my dad, who are all really good with the mechanics of various different things and are able to, fix things. And it's not going to cost the earth to get fixed. Right, so let's talk about doing some wings. I'm going to leave the bodies on there for a minute because I'm not quite sure about that, but I did think, let's draw some wings onto this. This is a really stiff interface. In fact, I'm going to just, did the light flash off then? Just plug the iron in, because I'll need that. And what I thought I would do is, I did have some fabric up here that I was, it's here. It's here. Little tape, bit of a tea towel, napkin. So I thought I'll not bond a web. I'll iron that to that, and then we'll make some wings. Which way around shall we go? Shall we go that way? Let me just get something to iron on top of. I've got the ironing pad set up in the other room because I am making up all the fabric packs for the show, for the kits for the show. There, does that make sense? And I don't think that needs to be much bigger than that, wider than that. So we're just going to go halfway with this fabric. These are paper cutting scissors. but actually cut that fabric quite nicely. Oh gosh. Right. Sorry, my dad. I think because I work from home, nobody thinks I'm actually doing anything, so they just turn up whenever they want. So there we are. Anyway, right. So what was I doing? Yeah. So I'm going to put some Vilene on the back, or stiffener, or interfacing. I'm just going to move the camera down because I feel like I've knocked it when I jumped up, because Reggie made me jump. That's a little bit better. So yeah, with iron-on interfacing, it's, I don't know whether you can see, if the camera pick it up, it's got the glue side is shiny, and the other side is not shiny. So you want to glue side to the fabric. I'm going to put this face down because I know what will happen is I'll iron it and get glue on there. And I'm just going to press. The trick with interfacing as well is not to rub it up and down, it's just to press it. Oh, I've actually got a crease in that. Wonderful. Try and pull that off. There we go. Yeah, when you work from home, nobody thinks you're doing anything. Oh dear. Right, so I'm just going to cut that off up to there. Okay, so I've attached the head just by tacking it on. I'm not going to worry too much about that at the moment. So to hide all my stitching and this sort of messy bit on the back, I've got another piece of fabric and I'm going to just attach, I won't attach to the head, to the back of, there, I'm just going to cut it all. I'm just going to give it a little press, but it's a little bit, I want it that way around because that's got a nice frayed edge. I'm just going to stick it on. And then I am literally going to cut around. I'm going to cut around it. And do a nice finishing stitch just to neaten up the back. On this one I just did a whip stitch again. I don't think there's any need to sort of go crazy with this stitching. If you want to do a running stitch, do a running stitch. Just have a little look, yeah. As I said earlier, this is so simple. Small children. You know, I used to get my year 7s at school doing these kind of things because they were so easy, so simple to do. I wish I'd have stuck that down a bit more. I might have to. I might have to. I'll have a look at that in a minute. So I'm just going to look for... I thought I'd threaded up a pale blue. I did. It's here. Sort of losing all the threads in one. So I'm going to just stitch all the way around the outer. And as I say, I'm just going to do a whip stitch. Because if you look at this one, don't know whether you'll be able to see. focusing? Does it want to focus? Yeah. Just whip stitch, over stitch, whatever. I'm just going to go around the outside of everything. I'm going to have to fix her head on a bit more. I don't know what I did there. I've given her a wonky head. Oh dear. So I'm going to go all the way around, just little tiny stitches, not tiny stitches, just generally stitching in same direction and roughly around the same. It's not got to have any stuffing in it or anything. It's just to attach this bit at the back, and to be fair, you could bonder web it on if you so wish, but I'm going round all the way. And I will find something to hang them up with. But I won't do that on the video. That's something, you know, I don't need to teach you how to just stitch a bit of ribbon on the back, or string, or whatever. Am I stitching that down? Oops. Just be careful you don't stitch down your lace. Your picot edges, if you've got picot edges like I have. You want them to stand up nicely, don't you? Okay. Keep thinking I'm going off camera, sorry. So I'm going to carry on with that all the way around. You can see what I'm doing, and I'll probably give that another little tack down there. I'm going to have to, because her head's a little bit wobbly. And I think, and when I will do another one, they'd be nice for gift tags. Maybe you could put a little gift tag in, a little thing, and hang it on a gift. As I say, you could put it on the front of a Christmas card. All kinds of uses for those, she says. I wish I'd have done that head a little bit bigger. Anyway, not to worry. So, happy stitching everyone, and happy Christmas in July, if you're watching this in July, or if you're actually watching it in December. Happy Christmas coming. Okay, so if you've enjoyed this video, I know it's been a little bit stop, but you know, I've enjoyed doing them. And if you've enjoyed them, give me the thumbs up. And if you're new here, do subscribe, and there's a little notifications bell if you want to hit that as well. You will never miss a little stitching story. So enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you all again soon. Bye bye. Yeah, so again, interruptions. So I'm just flatten that out. And I'm going to make a couple of wings. I'm just going to leave that on, just in case I need it again in a minute. pen. Don't know whether or not you'll see this one. So I was thinking a couple of wings. So they'll be fine for that. One. I'm sort of doubling up, so angel wings. I'm not really sure, but I found this and thought, you know, that's got a nice bit on it there, so maybe you could put that on. I'm just seeing how big that is yet. So I'll probably put that on a bit, one of each of those. The thing is, these are even, you can make these with children because they're so easy. Which way round did I cut that off? That way or that way? They're so easy, you don't even have to sew. You don't even have to be good at sewing. You can just sort of do a bit of a running stitch. It's not, they're not going to be difficult to do. Just see if that's big enough. Yeah. I don't know what Reggie's barking at now. Probably at the treat cupboard. Trim that down. Yeah. Look at that. I think that's looking good. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to stitch that to that and that to that. Exactly there. And I will do a similar kind of thing with that one. I'm not going to show you that just because there's yeah, you don't want to be watching me stitching all that up, I'm sure. I'm just going to, where's my glue pen? I'm just going to glue it down a bit so it doesn't move. Just check that that was right. Yeah. Lovely. So just give it a quick sew down. Just pop a running stitch, tacking stitch, couching, whatever you want to call it. You can even add some beads and, you know, add it in with some sequins and beads. Do whatever is your kind of, what you've got time to do, what you've got the things to do with. But I'm not rushing, I'm just thinking I've got these little things and I like to keep it, I want to keep it quite simple. I don't like to keep it simple, I'm just wanting to keep it a bit simpler. Because I just want to show you what I'm going to do with the backing. Ironically, I was telling you what a good little boy Reggie was being, and now Harvey's back. I can hear him up to no good. I know what he's up to. He's after Gertrude's kitty biscuits. He's learned to climb the little steps that go up to where I keep it. Gosh, honestly, I can't can't do anything without him knowing. Right, so I'm just, because you're not going to see this, I'm just going to do a little running stitch across. Save me messing about. With that. Starting and stopping. Oh. You know, these old doilies that you find in the charity shop, they are really come in useful. They do really come in useful. They are really coming in useful. They do really come in useful, things like this. And I know that it might be like, oh my gosh, you're cutting into that, but what you're going to do is sit and look at it in a drawer, or not even look at it in a drawer. Just sit with it in a drawer. There's no fun in that. So I just like to use them. When ladies come to my workshop and they've got bits of fabric that they've been looking at and saving, and then I rip it up, sometimes I can see the horror on their face. But I think we're sort of getting a little bit more that we are able to think outside the box with things and use them for other things, because it's just, I mean, how often do we get napkins and a tablecloth out, and or these doilies? Not for me, probably once a year, Christmas time. And I certainly don't use doilies ever. But I do sometimes, though, come across some tablecloths or bits and bobs that I can't bring myself to cut up. I found one the other day and I just thought, am I going to cut that up? Quite possibly. I think for me it depends if the stitching is really, really intricate and really, really good. Sometimes it's quite beginnery kind of stitching, so I don't mind cutting that up and using it. But if it's really beautiful work that's been same on the back as it is on the front, I tend to keep it and try and use it for something a bit bigger. Right, I am going to cut around these wings. Trying not to cut the lace off, the knobbly bits off. And cut down to that. Yeah, I might use them for like paw pads or patches that I know you'll be seen on things. I'm just going to cut a bit more of that away. Right, so that's been, like I say, Bilene Bonder Web, not Bonder Web, interfacing. That's been that on there. So I'm going to stitch that to that. I'm just going to find that. I'm actually going to switch this iron off, I think. Oh no, I wanted a bit of, I'm just going to make a bit of, where's that gone? Oh my gosh, what have I done with that? I literally just had it a minute ago, didn't I? Oh, I'm just going to cut a bit off because I want some for the faces before I switch the iron off. So just going to stick that to that and that to that. I don't know why I've done two separate bits. No idea. Oh, what was I going to do? One on that, one on that. Yes. Ooh. Not really the best. Before I switch the iron off. I shouldn't be doing it straight onto this fabric, onto this work surface. I get short. Oh. There we are. Right, now I can switch the iron off. So we don't get burning myself. So that's for their little faces. And that's for another set of wings. As I say, I'm not going to do 2 sets because you'll be fed up. Did I pick up a thread, a needle and thread? I did. There. Just going to quickly stitch that to that. And I want to show you what I'm going to do. I'm only going to tack it on the top where I know the head won't be. The head will be so you won't see it, as I'll show you why. I'm going to hide everything in a minute. So I've just done a few little tacking stitches. Just finish that off. Do you know when you keep getting interrupted and you get a little bit discombobulated, don't you? I feel like I've been interrupted so many times this afternoon by family members or deliveries or whatever. Right, I know that looks like it's wobbling, but it won't when I've finished. So I want to do the head, and I was looking at what size, and I think that one. Let me just have a quick look. Oh, that one. Don't go too big with the head, and because I would say that you tend to look a bit like moons if you do. Can I get 2 out of that? No, just getting them. I do try to be. Where's the... Oh gosh. Yeah, they look too moon facey if you're not careful. And again, the eyes down here and the lips. I'll try and show you a bit better with the lips this time. I've gone a bit pinker. So, can you see? Let's see if we can. I've just marked where I want my eyes and lips. So for the lips, for the mouth, I'll do 2 little French knots at the top. So wrap round once, go back down at the side of it. That's 1. Kind of gives like a little pout, and then right next to it you want to go do another. And I am only wrapping round once. Okay, and then at the bottom in the middle of those, below that in the middle of them both. And it makes a cute little mouth, like a little rosebud mouth. Okay, just going to, I've added interfacing instead of the wadding this time. And then there's eyes, same thread. It's not grey, it's like turquoise blue. And again, a tiny little fly stitch. As I said before, you can do, is it picking it up? Focus, focus. Tiniest fly stitch across and really shallow in the V. To make it look like an eye. And if you have some pencils, colour pencils, you can even give it a little bit of a blush. This one looks like she's got a dummy in. Okay. A dummy is a pacifier, I think. Yeah. Right, put that in the alt. Okay. And I'm going to go lace on again for a little halo stuck. I'm just going to put that on there. Thread. Again, just tack them down. You could add beads to this, of course. Or whatever. Stitches. Some metallic threads would be nice. Have I unthreaded that? Not quite. And I'm just literally stitching this down with some machine thread. She looks like a bit like a flower, doesn't she? And of course I've stitched it down before I've cut it out. I'm such a fool. Right, okay. All right. So I'm just going to cut that out. Job of, oh, I've gone right up to the edge of there. Try not to cut through your stitches if you have. Gone a bit mad, like I did there. Oh, this antique linen is like, it's, oh. She looks a bit like a daisy, don't she? Right, I'm going to stitch around that. I'm going to stitch that down. I will come back. Or shall I just, I'm just going to find some thread. Could see the end, but not the correct one. Just literally going to stitch around that, and I'm going to just do a whip stitch as I did before. Oh, don't want to tie that. I'm just going to get rid of that orange pen. Heat erase pen. While this iron's still a bit warm, there we are. So yeah, I'm just going to go quick stitch around there with just a whip stitch. You can do a blanket stitch if you prefer. I'm not doing anything special. You can also do a running stitch all the way around. So I'm just going to stitch that on. I'll be